All right, what is up? Sorry, I know I was going to be on last night, but then we had a power outage at my house. So I was not able to get on last night and do this. So I figured I'd just start pick up today. All right, so we are going to go through the next 2 or 3 bosses. That is Horatius, Salhadar, and then maybe Baloran. And we will finish up whatever we don't get done Wednesday night. So after first raid testing. So we're at least going to do the things that are on the first raid testing day on Wednesday, which is the first 4 or the first 3 from Voidspire and then the solo boss raid. We've already done 2 of those. So we'll finish those up today. And then Wednesday night, so after that raid testing, we will go through whatever the remaining bosses are, whether I get 3 done today or only 2. The only reason for that being is that tomorrow I have raid, and then after raid, I'm going to be doing some actual like mage testing on the beta, just to make sure I'm relatively comfortable with what I want to play. Have a couple different talent builds to play during raid. So I'll be doing that tomorrow night, hopefully with our other mage, Levitok. But yeah, so I want to be focusing on mage stuff tomorrow instead of boss stuff. All right, let us get into it. So Vorasius, let's go with the overview. So I have in our like raid testing group of a couple of guilds, somebody posted their own sort of overviews of this. I don't know where they got it from. I don't know if they actually read it or if they just posted about it, but I always like to do it myself. It helps me get more familiar with the fights because I can ask all the questions that I think I have and I get the information straight from Blizzard. And sometimes I notice things that other people don't, or sometimes I notice things that they have that is wrong. And I just like to practice this, you know, maybe one day if I'm good enough to play at the top, I might need to do this. I don't even know if they do this at the top or if it's just a raid leader sort of thing and everybody else just shows up, but I like doing it either way. So, Vorasius. We're going to go through the overview and then through the specific abilities, just focusing on heroic because that's the first testing that's happening. Mythic won't happen for 2 weeks, so we have plenty of time to prep for that. Creates void crystal barriers when slamming down his largest arms. Wait. Quick model check. Okay. And then little smallies. Okay. Cool. Cool. All right. Slams down his arms with smashing frenzy. Oh, let's move us over a bit. Slams a giant claw into the ground, applying smashed and inflicting damage to targets in the impact area. Is this another group soak? And damage to all targets. If no targets are present in the impact area, inflicts damage to all targets. Okay, so group soak. So this is 3 for 3 bosses that have some group soak mechanic. Interesting. Boss does group soak that requires one player in it. Damage is not split. Raid wide large dam does okay. Spawns barriers after the soak. Barriers can be damaged by exploding smallies on them. By killing smallies on them. Okay. Makes sense. Interesting. I don't know if this boss is going to be standing still or not, but this says it implies a 50% increased shadow damage for 30 seconds. Bro, Shadow Priest? Hello? Bro, this is actually just like a Shadow Priest and what? DH buff? Because chaos damage is all types? I know this is mainly just supposed to be for exploding other things, right? One explodes, and then the next ones that explode do more damage to all the others, but also this is I mean, shadow damage, that'll just straight up increase a couple classes. Okay. And then the boss slowly sweeps the area with Void Breath, powerful beam of void energy inflicting massive damage and dot damage. So boss does big beam that insta kills. Millions of damage is an insta kill. You're only at a couple 100k. Yeah. I mean, that's the whole overview. Okay. So it's got a rings expanding outward effect. Um, Bro, there's so many raid hits that do physical damage this time around. Dwarf is going to be so busted for defensives. That's crazy. Hmm. Okay. Dimensius P3 rings? Question mark? That's how I would imagine it kind of works. But it doesn't say mechanic doesn't say it gives a vuln period. 2 targets hit, so not sure. Sounds like you just have to heal through it. I don't really know why that's in the damage section. But okay. All right. So let's go through the actual mechanics. That seems really simple for an overview. It's like way simpler than the first boss, strangely enough. Okay, so Void Beam, yeah, Massive Beam. Void Breath. Uh, Beam, insta kills, plus huge dot dam for 15 seconds. Within its reach. I'm not sure what that means. Also, I forget. Gotta pull up the old raid plan. Check the boss room area. Horacius looks like this. Okay, a circle. Nothing too interesting. Okay, so says does dot dam to targets within its reach. Question mark. Not sure what that means. Parasite expulsion spawns smallies for 4 seconds. And spawns dodge circles. Not clear if void shards that inflict dam are dodge circles or unavoidable AoE dam. Yep. Who messaged me? Oh yeah. Okay. So the smallies are blister creeps. They do blister burst. Which is what? Ah. Explodes on death, which damages barriers. Okay. Creep impact. Okay. Deals dam within 10 yards to any players. Deals dam within 10 yards when landing after being spawned by boss. Interesting. Okay. Can't spell impact. That's fine. So maybe these are just the thing that does the AoE image. I don't know. And then also, okay, no, I'm just confused. It also has volatile void shards, which also deals shadow dam to enemies in nearby areas. Pulsing AoE? Question mark? Shadow dam. Okay. Yeah, I'm not sure. Mechanics, smashing frenzy. This one is weird. Group soak that does not reduce dam by players in it. Looks like maybe it's a tank soak mechanic. Deals raid wide small dam when soaked. Raid wide large dam if not soaked. Yeah, okay, so this is a tank mechanic. Okay. So this is tank soak and swap mechanic. It does shadow strike dam. Interesting. Okay. Increases fizz dam taken by 4x for 2 minutes. Stacking. And then also spawns rings of aftershocks from target from impact location that do fizz dam. And I said this already, but dwarf racial. Okay. Max range. Blinkable, most likely. Okay. Oh yeah. Oh, also spawns the void crystals. Spawns void crystals that must be destroyed by killing Smallies on top. Doesn't say that the void crystals actually do anything else. Okay. So, not understanding how that mechanic is supposed to work. Primordial Roar pulls people in, then knocks back, doing large Sonic Dam to all. Is Sonic Dam void raciable? Or dwarf racial? Chat, anybody know? All one watcher. Okay. Also, every roar does constant AoE dam from then on that stacks. Okay. Healer mechanic. And then tanks need to stay in melee. Tanks must be in melee of boss at all times, or we take not huge shadow dam every 2 seconds. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. So this is, I mean, your standstill boss, your Fractalus, your Teros, whatever, right? I mean, I think I don't actually know that to be sure, but it kind of sounds like it. If tanks must be in melee range of all times, it usually makes me sound like the boss can't move. Very simple fight. I don't know what the void crystals are supposed to do at all. So questions? What's the penalty for not killing void crystals? What do they do? Doesn't actually even say what it does. This just says Vracius creates void crystal barriers when slamming down his largest arms. These barriers can be damaged by exploding. So I assume that assuming that the barriers prevent you from doing dam to boss. So like actual absorb barrier on boss. Which then this mechanic turns into something like Senarth last phase, where you have to kill ads on top of players. Except now it's on top of boss. Okay. I'm guessing that's kind of how that works, because otherwise, like, there's nothing else that this does. It doesn't even matter if it's like a thing on the ground or something. Maybe it's just like area denial. It could be area denial, actually. An area denial crystal, which makes it harder to deal with the aftershock rings. I don't know. Could be. It seems interesting. But I assume it's just on boss. We'll see. That is a very simple fight. I don't really know if I have any other questions. Let me see. This is pretty good for alter time. Okay. Void breath. I mean, I don't know how the breath works, but we're just gonna see it. So it's not that big of a deal. Like, I don't know if it moves turns, if it targets groups of players, like, is it baitable? All these things, right? Do the ads spawn early enough that you need to like delay killing them? Which again, we'll find out like immediately. Tank soak seems like just a tank soak thing. Doesn't really seem like that big of a problem. Okay. This seems fairly normal. There's like no personal requirements on this fight. This is just a dodge. This is just DPS ads. This is a tank mechanic, and this is just a knockback. There's no actual like DPS players have to do a mechanic. There are no mechanics on this fight that you actually have to interact with besides dodge this beam. And sure, dodge the smallies when they spawn. That's crazy. But all right, I mean, I'm not gonna spend too much more time on it then. Let me think, like, is there anything else I need to know? Are these CCable? We'll find that out soon. Is there any other weird shit that we can think of? I mean, baiting the beam might be important. If the void crystals are area denial. If these are area denial, can they be baited on spawn? Does the tank soak leave area denial? Is the tank soak location on target or baitable? I mean, like, these are really basic things. These aren't even really like figuring out questions. These are just how does the mechanic work, and that's it. That seems way too simple. But yeah, is what it is. All right, well, I'm not going to spend too much time on that then. I'm going to move on. Let me just do a quick check in our Discord to see if I've missed anything. Survive void breath with space created. What does he say? There are 3 main mechanics. Adds Smashing Frenzy and the Void Crystals and the Void Breath. Smashing Frenzy must be soaked by the tank, which will spawn Void Crystals, which need to be destroyed. However, these cannot be killed by players. There seems to be a Kurog-style expanding ring to dodge after this mechanic as well. Yeah, that's the Aftershocks. Which they do a lot of damage, so you may just be required to dodge them. Okay, so that makes sense. So... Aftershocks may be like Kurog, where you have to dodge step them, which, since I'm a mage, makes everything irrelevant. Okay. Okay. We will need to take the ads and kill them on top of the void crystals. On heroic, they take 2 creep explosions to destroy. Wonder where he got that from, because this has no information. Sure. Void breath appears to cover the entire arena starting on a random side. It is assumed that you will need to use a path opened by creating void. Okay, so there you go. Okay, sure. Again, I have no idea where he got that info from, but it seems like it could make sense. So the void breath may work like, who is that boss from Sanctum of Domination? It's like the 4th or 5th boss or whatever. So I was right that void crystals could be area denial. Similar to Sanctum of Domination 4th or 5th boss that did high slice, safe space, massive rental thing. Sure. All right. Super fucking easy though. Super simple, I should say. Easy will be determined by tuning and speed of mechanics. Okay. All right, let's check the boss model. Okay. Nice. A void orb and a shadow image of him. All right. Let's check the room real quick. Okay. 3-section room. Some things over here. Got it. Okay. And let's go to overview. Lab rat. Ooh, sucks. He siphons power from the surrounding machinery, slowly increasing his energy over time. Upon reaching 100 energy, he is overwhelmed by the void and begins his cosmic unraveling. Okay. Okay, so overview. Upon reaching 100 energy, does pulsing AoE for 20 seconds and has a 25% damage amp. And creates area denial after. Okay. Periodically, he will draw orbs of concentrated void from the machine toward him. When an orb reaches him, he performs a reckless infusion. Okay. If you let an orb reach the boss, you wipe. Okay. Must destroy orbs first. DPS, most likely. Oh, that'll get answered. Sorry. Come back. Okay. Destroying orbs puts a dot. An 8-second dot on all players that stacks. Either stagger or pop all at once and CD. Makes sense. Images spawn that do area denial. And I wish I could spell. During the AoE damage amp, the uncontainable cosmos, beams of pure cosmic energy escape from Salhadar in several directions. Contact with any beam inflicts damage every 0.2 seconds within Salhadar and a cosmic barrage. Erupt from his unbound soul. Several pieces of the void's essence litter the ground, inflicting damage. Okay, so this during damage amp, you have dodge beams from the boss, and dodge circles. So just think literally Nexus King Dragon damage amp / Gallywix start of mythic fight. Literally. Same shit. Okay. So what is the overall flow? Because those are more mechanics. The overall flow seems to just be you're DPSing the boss. He's sometimes going to spawn orbs that are going to try to get to him. You have to stop them from getting them, whether it's CC or DPS down. And when you kill the orbs, they do raid wide dots. So you have to determine how you want to deal with that. And over time, boss gets damage amp on some specific timer. Okay. Yep. Okay. That's, I mean, so far it's pretty easy. Concentrated void. Boss spawns orbs from machinery on edges of room. That come towards him. Must destroy orb before reaches boss. Healing orb on heroic. That's mythic. Does raid wide dot for 8 seconds. Stacking. Stagger or CD. Up to the team. Okay. Letting it reach the boss kills everyone. Maybe not towards the end of the tier, but in the beginning of the tier it will. And then, yeah, dot. Okay. And then Cosmic Unraveling is Jam Jam for 20 seconds plus dodge beams plus dodge circles plus area denial afterwards. So plan where damage amp will start to give you plan tank positioning, boss positioning before damage amp, so you have room to dodge, plus don't take up too much room with area denial after. Okay. Yep. Shattering Twilight. Tank it. That spawns Twilight spikes in lines. Is this like Nexus King P3 dodge circles? What it sounds like. Okay. What does that mean? Several other players. So many questions on that. Stop it. I mean, how does that mechanic work? No idea how that mechanic works, but okay. Sure. What damage type does this do? Cosmic damage. I just have so many questions on that one. What's of area denial in this raid? Okay. Fractured projection. You can interrupt this? Huh? Um, there's no way you can interrupt fractured projection. I think that's just wrong. That wouldn't make any sense. Boss puts AoE circle on multiple players, dealing damage to other players near them for 13 seconds. So spread mechanic. First one of those we've seen this tier. Magic dispellable. And also when it's removed, shrouds the wearer in oppressive darkness. When dispelled, when removed, puts heal absorb on player and spawns area denial. So they need to spread, but in like a corner. Okay. Twisting obscurity. Bindings loosen and release a bolt of twisting darkness that jumps between all players, and puts a dot on everyone. Okay. So chain lightning like effect on all players that leaves 23-second dot. Okay, sure. And then instability tank swap mechanic. Okay. Okay. So you have a lot of area denial things, right? You have the dispellable debuff that's going to leave area denial. You have the add images that are going to leave area denial. And then you have just the boss's damage amp that's going to leave area denial. So very like space constrained. Fight kind of seems like Lumathar P2, but for the entire time. Think Volrax from Amir Drasil. Whatever the fireworm was. Whole fight is managing area denial and blasting boss. Maybe entirely single target. Not sure if images are DPS-able. Okay. I'm surprised these void things don't also leave a area denial. I would have thought that they do. Okay. Any questions? That seems relatively simple again. I can't really think of anything right now, so I'm going to go look at the Discord that we have. TLDR soak orbs. So are these soaking orbs or DPSable orbs? Soak these or DPS them, which is just, we'll find out immediately. Dodge stuff, there's nothing to dodge during the regular phase. Okay, so I think they have that wrong. Unless I missed something. They just have this spread. Okay. Bring dispels out of the raid. I mean, yeah, but you would also want to kind of concentrate them together, I would imagine. Kick ads, sure. And during intermission, blast and dodge. Yeah, okay. So, period all charted post must be intercepted. Failing to do so instantly wipes the raid. It doesn't say that they must be intercepted anywhere. It says that they just go towards the boss. And if it reaches him, he blasts. But they could be like killable. But sure. Soaking will apply a stacking raid-wide dot. Assumingly there will be several at a time and you want to stagger. Maybe. Maybe you want to pop them all at once. And again, maybe they're DPSable, not soaking. Shattering Twilight seems to be similar to his P3 slam in the current tier. He leaps at the tank, which echoes to other allies on Heroic and Mythic and causes spikes that need to be dodged. Yeah, so that's how I was saying, like the P3 spike spawn. Yeah. Fractured Projections spawn several ads that need to be kicked to stop them from spawning. Area denial. They don't seem to be a killable ad, just a kick. So these might be like constant. Yeah. I mean, I agree. I don't know if these are killable. Do these live forever? So you have to constantly manage kicks on these, because that would also make like the end of the fight harder, right? For sure. Definitely a ramping fight at that point. And then the dispel that drops area denial and the heal absorb afterwards. Yep. Beams and dodge circles while during the intermission. Yep. Then he has his mythic changes here. Orb soaks will reactivate when any new orb spawns. So let me take a look at mythic, because maybe that's where he's getting that. In mythic difficulty, destroyed orbs of void become dormant and are reactivated whenever the boss casts desperate measures again, as enduring void. Enduring void does not cast the dot when destroyed, but can still be used for. Okay, cool. Okay. He said the kicks for the images must be done in a specific order. Some fractured images are protected by stacks of Nexus Shield. When a fractured image is interrupted, the resulting explosion removes one stack of shield from all other fractured images. So you have to oh, that's That's a cool mechanic. I like that. It might suck ass to actually play. You know, I have no idea if it's going to be like really annoying or not, but that is a like seemingly novel mechanic that I don't think I've ever experienced. You have to kick in an order. So you can imagine it as there's four images, right? And of all those four images, some of them have shields, or three of them have shields. One doesn't have a shield, and one has one stack of a shield, then two stacks, then three stacks, right? So you have to kick 0, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3 before you can kick the fourth one, right? That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. I like that. Ooh. Question. Images CCable. So Cyclone / Banish. Okay. Yeah, I actually like that. That's pretty cool on Mythic. All right. So, and then what was the despotic command? The spread circles. Okay. The dispels cannot be done on top of another puddle. Again, Lumithar, or it deals heavy raid-wide damage instead of personal damage to that player. Okay, cool. Yeah, so nothing different than what I know there, except for maybe these void orbs are soaks instead of kills. Who knows? Otherwise, it's full single target, which would kind of make sense for the type of fight that it is, right? Third in the raid. It's that fireworm from Emirjil. I can't remember his name. It's Lumithar, right? Potentially a single target area denial fight where you have to do a few other mechanics. Yeah, makes sense. Okay. Cool. Well, that didn't take long. Let's go through one more today, which is Belloren would be the next one that we test. Which I believe is in the 2-boss raid. So should be a significant step up, I would think. Oh, fucking boy, if you don't get this mount. I'm killing them if you don't get that mount, boy. That is... And I swear to God, if this doesn't fly. Give me all of these. Please, God, give me all of these as a mount. I need this in my bones. Okay. Oh, yeah. He's got mechanics, baby. Even the smallies have mechanics. Even the smallies have smallies that have mechanics. Hell yeah. Definitely a step up. Let's go. Maybe I should have looked at this one later. Fuck it, who cares? Okay. We have our first real multi-stage boss. I guess I should have gone to heroic, eh? Yeah. Do. That is quite a long one. Hell yeah. All right. Let's check this out. I could also go and look at the notes that this guy wrote. See what we find compared to what he found. All right, so just quickly reading this. Belloren attacks using both light and void magic to guard the Sunwell. He infuses players with either a light feather or a void feather. Okay, so we're back to Cataclysm Elisrazor or whatever. Granting absorption against holy or shadow damage. Oh, this was like the quick little alpha raid test that people were doing, I think, right? Upon dying, Belloren retreats into an ashen egg and engulfs the arena in an incubation of flames. Unless his immortal flame is diminished, he casts Rebirth to be reborn as a phoenix anew. All right. So if you get the light feather, you want to take light holy damage. If you get the void feather, you want to take void damage. Belloren periodically engulfs the arena in flames of light and void that erupt after 5 seconds, inflicting massive shadow damage when shadow or holy damage when hit. An eternal fire that fuels Belloren's ability to rebirth after dying inflicts damage to all players every 3 seconds. This effect happens 50% more often when Belloren is rebirthing. After 30 seconds, if you have not killed or soaked or whatever his immortal flame, then he is reborn. Damage inflicted to Beleren while he is rebirthing diminishes the immortal flame, reducing it to 0 prevents his return. Okay. DPS the boss during the intermission while dodging or living, all that shit. For 30 seconds. Okay. Light dive and void dive inflicts damage split between all enemies hits. The Ember focuses on a player and dives towards their location after 8 seconds. Okay. Targeted group soak, inflicting massive damage split evenly between all targets within 12 yards, knocking them away. In addition, the Ember leaves behind a light patch, which we can't see here. I assume this does the same thing. It does. And then DPS him during his little intermission thing. Okay. Some interesting stuff there. So before we do overview, let's just go through everything. Phase 1 mechanics. I fucking love void and light shit. I love it so much. All right. So void light convergence. 30 all players every 1.5 seconds for 6 seconds, infusing players with light and void. So just AoE dam for 6 seconds and infuses players with light or void feathers. So do you get to choose, or does he just do that to you? He infuses players, so you don't get to choose. Okay. Seems like what that is. Go. Sounds like you don't get to choose your color, which may mean one color is worse for CD timings. Hooray, RNG. Yeah. I could just have them. Okay. Light and void feathers, you know, yeah. Light / void feather take 50% reduced damage from damage of same type as feather. Okay, easy. Immortal flame is like a AoE dam to all players every 3 seconds for 30 seconds, and if you don't kill boss in 30 seconds, he rebirths, and this dam happens every 1.5 seconds. That's fire dam. Okay. Beleren summons light / void embers. Okay. Hey Luna, how you doing? Ember focuses on, okay, so light / void ember. Okay. They do a dive, which is a player targeted group soak. Soak if you have same type feather as mechanic. Makes sense. Knocks back all players in soak. Does split dam based on number of players. Leaves light patch. Players standing in patch take 75% increased dam of same type as patch. And suffer big damn everyone. And suffer big damn every 1 second standing in patch of same type as patch. So basically, light feather people who soak the light dive also cannot stand in the light patch afterwards. Well, actually, they can. They just take increased holy damage, so it'd be better for them to stand in it than anybody else. Okay. What else did he do? Light blast. Random targeted damage. Think living mass adds P1 dimmy. Light eruption. Interruptible. AoE cast. Can only be interrupted by players of same type. I assume he has the same one. So let's just delete those because they both have the same. Okay. And then they both cast Rebirth. Yeah. When killed, they retreat to egg for 15 seconds. If egg not killed in 15 seconds, they respawn. And do AoE dam to all players. Okay, makes sense. Void dive, void patch, void blast, void eruption, rebirth, same thing. Okay. Radiant echoes. Spelled that wrong. Bellow conjures echoes of concentrated light and void energy passes through any barriers for 30 seconds. Spawns echoes that pass through any barriers for 30 seconds. So can't LOS them is my assumption. Take the hit by one of the same type. Blinkable? Question mark. Oh yeah. Okay. Makes sense. Guardians eat it. Tank mech. Light and void attacks emits power. These attacks ignore any player effects that grant damage immunity. Wow, okay. Get fucked. Immortals damage immunities. If these attacks fail to hit a target, then Bellerin empowers himself, increasing all damage done to... What? Fail to... this is like series of attacks. Series of light void attacks. If they fail to hit target, boss is empowered, increasing dam by 100% for 30 seconds. So can't dodge all of them? You have to take the hit, I'm assuming is what their way of saying this is. Which is interesting, for sure. Okay, so the edicts inflict massive damage of the same type and physical damage in a frontal cone and knocks all victims away. Additionally, victims take 15% increased damage for 30 seconds or for the next 5 melee attacks. These are frontal cones. Nexus King P1. Question mark. It sounds fun for tanks to figure out. Bellerin burns players with searing lights. Okay, moving on. Eternal burns. Absorbing healing and periodically inflicting damage to the target until the burn is healed. So dot that also absorbs healing until heal absorb is gone. Yep. Same thing. It's really a heal absorb that does light void dot until heal absorb is gone. Purely healer mechanic. Potentially alter time worthy. Okay. Infused quills. Bellerin periodically targets players with light and void infused quills that launch towards them after 6 seconds to inflict holy or shadow damage to the first player within its line of sight. So targets players and after a while shoots projectile that hits first player in path. Just dodge. Maybe bait to a specific direction. Best place. So rest of raid doesn't have to dodge. Maybe. I don't know how they come out though. Death drop. Sounds cool. Damn, this is still only P1. Oh yeah. No, I'm not gonna talk to you in chat. Death drop. In Bellerin's dying breath, he soars sky high and dive bombs toward the center of the arena. After 6 seconds. Upon landing, he inflicts massive physical damage to players, knocking them upwards. Players further from the impact position receive less damage and knock intensity. Okay, so in Bellerin's dying breath, he soars sky high, blah, 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 blah. When boss dies, he flies away for 6 seconds, then lands in middle of room, doing fall off, biz dam, and knocks all players up. Starts P2. Dwarf racial / alter. For sure. Okay. P2. Boss is dead and reviving for 30 seconds. I assume you're going to have to cycle back and forth between these quite a few times. Okay. So DPS egg boss is in to stop him from reviving. If boss revives after 30 seconds, he does AoE damage to all players and reduces healing by 10%. Stacking. Incubation of flames. Periodically engulfs arena in flames of light / void that erupt after 5 seconds. So this is like dodge pattern dance. You can think of it as like dodge swirlies. Basically going to be the same thing. Okay, so this is cool. So now I kind of understand it better. So the overview is that you have a P1 where you kill boss to 0, then a 30-second P2 where you try to kill boss before he revives. Currently assuming you will rotate back and forth a few times before you can actually kill boss. So maybe the egg in P2 like loses health every single time, or the immortal flame that you have to diminish loses health every single time but doesn't like regain health when he gets reborn. So you have to like go back and forth between this phase a couple times is what I'm assuming is going to happen. Various light void mechanics in P1 always take the mechanic of same type as boss gives you. So light people take light mechanics, void people take void mechanics. There's a group soak, wall, moving wall, maybe blinkable. What else was there? Let's see. So that was the group soak. There's just random damage taken. There's interrupts only by the same type. And there's the walls, there's the tank mechanic, there's the healer absorb, and there's these. Okay. So group soak, moving wall can only be done by same type. And then targeted dodge projectiles. And then P2, you dodge eruptions from ground every 5 seconds while DPSing boss. And I assume everything just gets harder every time he comes back, right? Upon dying, veins unless the mortal flame is diminished. So yeah, you take like ramping damage, right? While Valorant is rebirthing. So yeah, I'm not sure, but that kind of seems what it looks like. Or maybe it's just like you have one shot to do this. A back and forth between P1 and P2, and it is instead a one-shot chance to kill boss or you die. Dude, can I just like just get out of here? Yeah. This is an interesting one. I don't know how it's going to end up playing out. Whether you are going to like go back and forth between P1 and P2 consistently until you can kill him, or if it's just a one shot. and then you have like a 30 seconds at the end that you have to like lust and burn, or you die. I don't even know if you die if it comes back, or if you just have to play the whole fight over again. It doesn't seem like there's really any penalty. So let's see what guy wrote in our Discord. You get a color, so circles and orbs of the same color. Yep. Look for feathers of your color and intercept the line to help a friend. Why? It didn't say that these projectiles like move, but maybe they do. Targets players and afterwards shoots a projectile that hits players' knowledge. Or maybe they must be soaked and target players of opposite type. So a friend must help. That would kind of make sense. Okay. When boss turns into an egg, dodge and kill egg, repeat until boss dies. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking too, but we'll see. Fight begins with you getting either a void or a light. Okay, splitting in half. The void type the type you receive gives you a 50% DR. Yep, blah, 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 blah. The adds cast identical mechanics. Yep. Soak knocks away all players and leaves behind area denial. The bird will land at this location and does not move. That's annoying. Okay. These birds, if true, these birds do random damage and also have a cast that is only interrupted while players of the same type. When killed, they leave behind an egg, which must also be killed. The mob respawns. Yep. Radiant echoes are the walls of the orbs. Yeah. Players of the same element must soak parts of the wall to create a gap that can be passed through. Sure. Maybe players of same type must soak wall, so players of opposite type don't get hit by it. Sure. Soaking the wrong orb type deals an additional burst of heavy damage, likely killing you. These orbs then return on the same path with the same gaps they had previously. Okay. Don't know where you got that from. Maybe that was in the alpha test that somebody did. Sure. Infused quills will target random players with an elemental quill, which can be intercepted by standing in its path before it goes off. It's assumed that the player's target will be the opposite element, right? And someone of the same element needs to block it. Yep. Intermission, when the boss reaches 0 HP, he casts his giant drop, knocking players up. Physical damage once he finishes. He will go into the egg, and they'll need to deal damage to deplete his immortal flame. Even if the egg is not killed, damage into the egg will permanently reduce his immortal flame. That's what I kind of figured. Once it reaches 0 during an Ashen Shell phase, the boss dies. During this phase, there is also bullet hell. Yep. Failing to defeat him, respawns and revives him. Additionally, all healing then is reduced by 10%. Yeah. So yeah, it definitely does seem like a back and forth. That's kind of what this guy got as well. So dodge eruptions from ground or bullet hell from boss. Kind of sounds like it's from the ground though. Periodically engulfs the arena in flames of light and void that erupt after 5 seconds. That kind of sounds like from the ground, not from like bullet hell, but the meaning of it is still the same. After 5 seconds kind of sounds like a dance pattern. Not like constant dodge of projectiles where you can like find a gap in between, but like, oh, there's a pattern on the ground, dodge it. Would also kind of be similar to like Smolderon, but not exactly the same, where there's like ring patterns. I assume it would just be like random zigzag patterns on the ground or something, but that's kind of what it sounds like to me. But okay, for the most part, looks like he mostly got the same things that I did. I just kind of want to peek at Mythic, see if there's anything in here. It does not even appear that they really put anything Mythic in here. They did not. Okay. They haven't even put any Mythic mechanics in there. Fuck yeah. I mean, just dope model. I love Void. I love Light. Mixing them together, great for me. Yep. I want both. I want all of these as mounts. All right, cool. This is the last boss. That's just a thing. Okay. Well, isn't that like the... Fuck, it's the BC thing from like Shatrath, but in Void, right? That's what that looks like. A crystal, a crystal, a crystal. Fuck yeah. 1, 2, 3, baby. Actual full fight. Looks like fun. Gives you some Giga Ring. Isn't this the same ring as Dimensius? Okay. Like, not exactly, but kinda. Kinda. Sure. Trinket. Please be a shitty trinket. Cosmic shards for the heavens. Slice your target and one nearby enemy. If either enemy is below 35%, gain haste for 12 seconds. What's a haste buff? It's a damage proc plus face buff. Okay, I hope it's terrible. Okay, cool. So then we'll candle these two on Wednesday, and then we'll be all done. Sounds good to me. What these boss models look like some like Draenei Paladin armor. Okay. The Lightbound Vanguard, eh? Fuck yeah. Love Void Battles. We're fighting Illyria. Okay. With some Void ads. Oh, Dragon Fight. Where's my mounts? Don't fucking lie to me. Give me my mounts. All right. Cool deal. Well, that is all I have for that. Unfortunately, um, Beta just decided to delete my mage that I already had on here. That I had literally set up like earlier today. So that was a little annoying. But luckily for me, we have like no buttons. Ah, I'm missing a action bar. That one. Thank you. Luckily for me, we have no buttons, so it's pretty easy to just pop stuff places. Where's X? There. Ice Lance goes on C, but you never press it. This is technically Crossfire Bolt. And I'll put some of my utility in here just in case. Where's my counter spell? That's not it. Where's my actual counter spell one? It's this one. Yep. Okay. Summon water elemental. Make sure I actually have that and press it. How long does this last? He's with me forever. I don't know. See if he times out in a bit. Arcane Intellect. Arcane Explosion. Supernova. And that appears to be it. Okay. Okay. Mount. Pick the Void Light. Why do I not have the Void Light Surger? Sure, I have my fucking Mythic Dimensius mount, but I don't have the Void Light Surger. Okay. That's fine. And my buttons aren't on there. Okay. Pet bar is in the way. Make it even smaller. I just hide this. I don't actually even want to show this. I need to mount up. I need general skywriting stuff. Surge forward. Skyward ascent. Whirling surge. And where's the second one? There. Yep. Okay. do I have the same frames that I have on live even though nobody is here? Also, why is this lagging so much? Man, come on, man. I don't even have any add-ons on. Come on, beta. You can do better. Okay. That looks fine. Let me just go quickly target a dummy. It's probably a mistake and will nuke me. Oh, hey, it's Dream. What up? Okay. Just press a single couple buttons. It's fine. Everything looked pretty normal. So much excitement going on here. Button lights up, you press it. Okay, my cast bar needs to go. Actually, my pet bar just needs to move. That's all. Cut. Edit mode, pet frame, get the fuck. Okay. I think that's where I want everything. I can't get out of combat because you are just blasting. Alright, do your thing, homie. Don't let me stop you. Can I blink out of this? Beautiful. Okay. I guess this is kind of where I need my pet bar, right? I just respawn him down here. Easy. Okay. That looks fine. Have all the abilities that I care about. Looks good to me. All right. I need anything else. Why can I not move tooltips? I can't move tooltips? That's got to be in here somewhere, right? Yeah. That overlapping with that is really fucking annoying. Okay. Show raid frames. Okay, they're still down here. That's fine. Okay, this one. Hidden. This one. Hidden. Don't need it. This one. Hidden. Personal resource display. I'm not playing with it. In Frost. Just don't need it. Do something like that. Needs to be a bit lower. That's why. Okay. Sure, put that shit there. Boss timeline. I need to check out. It's like in gameplay enhancements or something. Horizontal or vertical. How do you get the information? Just having a timeline with no names is gonna suck. Hmm. Yeah, that's gonna be rough. Is what it is, man. Let's play around it. Okay, I think that's all for me on beta. Please don't delete my character again. Please don't have deleted my character. I'm gonna go check that. I'd be very sad if that happened again and I have to fucking remake that all over again. I'm also gonna log into live for a second. Why? Did they like take what just happened? Dude, I can't stand beta sometimes, man. What are we doing? What are we doing? Beta's a fucking trip. Okay, I'm on that. I want to go log into beta still to double check that my shit is still there. Please give me beta realms, not live realms for no reason. It does appear to be my character that I just had. Okay. Yeah, I mean, it literally just deleted my other character, which was really fucking annoying. All right. That looks good. The one thing I wanted to do on live was to just check our Soulbinder kill. It's like the 199 or not 99 that I haven't gone over again. Went over Fractalus, I went over Soul Hunters, I went over Nexus King, I went over Dimensius. Those are all my 95, 96, 98s. Fudge. I don't have the Soulbinder VOD because my like thing was messed up here. All right, so this was on 11/11. I should have the raw recording. Should be this one. Yeah. Yeah. There's Nexus King. Let's mute it. Okay. Should be here. Okay. Let's see if there's anything I need to change. I don't think there was, but I just want to check. I got a 99 on this. Missed my orb on pull because our tank was standing over there for some reason, or whoever pulled was standing over there. But we're just gonna check timings, make sure everything makes sense here. Lust into CDs right on time. Lag spike. Yeah. Yeah, I can change that for sure. Scooties hits himself with an orb. Happens, you know. Explosion timing looks great. I don't know if that hit both ads based off of where the boss is standing. What would that be? That's this one. It's a 97 now. It did. Okay, cool. Just making sure. So that looks fine. So we'll see how that goes. Hey, Oni, how's it going? That was a little bit late, but still looks good. We still had people miss the orb on the far one there somehow. And then hit it at the last second, but then somebody like stood in between it again. Alter here. I can't just alter there for sure. I'm not going to answer that, Oni. Just say what you want to sell and then leave. You guys always use the same script. All right, let me double check this timing here because I missed it. Pop and then pop. Perfect. Cool. Okay. You get a freaking, yep, use that. Shifting, or not shifting, evocation. Okay, and then touch there, good. I should have mirror image is the one big thing. Otherwise, this wouldn't be out here if I hadn't done that. Timing looks good. How many targets did this actually hit? This one. Doesn't match. I hit 6. That is pretty good. You should only have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 ads. So 7 total targets to hit. We had 8 targets because we missed one over there. So I missed 2 of them, but that's fine because waiting any longer and you start to get into potential chance to miss some of these. Like, let's go to, when did they die? Touch of the Magi explodes at 2:08. Any more specific than that? 2:09, basically. Okay, Touch of the Magi explodes at 2:09. And then let's pull in here. Let's go to enemies, resources. I already said, Oni, I can see your message. I just don't care. Just sell what you're going to sell and leave. First guy dies there. Is that 213? Non-boss targets. It looks like the first guy dies at 213. Which one is that? Assassin? Oh, one even earlier, 212. Page dies in the 214 range. Phase Blades later. And none of these guys, right? The assassins are first at 212. And my thing exploded at 209. So I can delay 1 extra second. Okay. So 1 extra second. Did I use the Touch of the Magi at the right time? I wasn't early. Yeah. So I needed to delay my Touch of the Magi normally anyway. Because it ended before my barrage did. Or my soul. So yeah, I could just delay Touch of the Magi 1 second longer. And then potentially get another GC in here. Because it's like last GCD doesn't get in. Okay. So it looked like I used Touch of the Magi at the right time. Boom, here. This one, 157 compared to what? 145? Yeah, that definitely needs to be backed up one. 118, that works. I need to mirror image. When can I mirror image? When can I mirror image for this to matter? 132. Looks good to me. Do I have one saved already? No. Age, mirror image. I don't need to save this because it ain't staying around. 5, mirror image right there. Sounds good. Okay, so we mirror image that. We've delayed this touch by 1 second. Was the surge late? Let's double check. Let's see. The surge was late by 0.3. Okay. Delaying this 1 second still gets you the whole thing in Siphon Storm. There you go. That's fine. Mirror image prevents that ad from being out. And then delaying 1 second from here. It makes it explode at 210 effectively. Which is there. And then 2 seconds later, ads die. I think that works. I don't think anybody's going to do crazy more different damage than they did last week. We don't have a new buff or anything. Dies here. This is the lowest assassin. Who dies at 212. Yeah. Boom. Okay. Could delay it 1 more second. Do I want to risk that? It's risky. But I am going for like rank 1s. Do I want to delay it another second? If I delay it 1 more second and we kill 1 second fast, it doesn't explode on them. But delaying it by 2 seconds from where it was before is 2 extra globals in there. Which is big damage. There's a lot of damage in there. 2 more targets. 34 mil more damage. Not including the potential more damage from barrage or anything hits, which I don't think there really would be. Maybe from missiles if we get good missiles. A13 mints. Which, what the fuck procs A13 mint, by the way? Every 3 times you just gain it. Okay, yeah. So you'd get some extra in there. Do I risk that, man? Exploding at 211 versus 212. Who else did damage to these ads in this time? And did they do a lot of damage? Lovetalk did more than me. Why did your barrage do so much more than mine did? 42 hits with a 31% crit. 39 hits. Got an extra barrage. You crit more than me. And then buff diff. I did not get Void Core buff until after everything. I fucking hate this trinket, dude. I hate this trinket. Cool. Okay. Sure. Okay. And specifically, I'd be looking at like this timeline. Okay. Yeah. So the before the first ad dies timeline. Logic did huge damage, so our other LA Shaman could pop off, then I'd be fucked. Who's in? It's one of the LA Shamans sitting on this fight. Both of them are in. I have a feeling he's going to do more damage. This would be risky to try and do an extra second delayed. When did Blake's explode? Blake's touch hadn't even exploded yet. So when does this touch explode? He did more damage to me and his touch of the Magi explodes that late and hits like nothing. How is this possible? How many casts of barrage did he do? 12? One more dude, buffs are ridiculous. Cool. So yeah, I mean, potentially our other LA Shaman does like 2.5 times as much damage, and that'd be really fucked. So I'll just move it 1 second for now, I guess. And we'll leave it at that. 1 second later. Should still get full value on that. Okay. All right. That's fine. Okay, use that one exactly on time. Take this out. I do no damage doing this. Did this explode on these guys? Making sure. Oof. 15 power. Check boss health. Actually do that late. Is this touch at the right time to explode on these ads? If so, the arcane surge should be earlier. Yes. Okay, the surge should be earlier. When does the touch actually happen? Touch is currently happening at 4.3, but I was late on the surge. So touch is happening at 4.3, but I was late on the surge. So it's happening 1.8 seconds too early. So this would need to move 1.8 seconds earlier. So how far off was I? Okay, yeah. 1.3. 16.8 is when I should be casting it. It goes off at 18.3, so 1.5. So yeah, 0.3 second difference there. 29, that's 12 seconds. So we'd want it to be 12 and a half. So move this to 96.5 there. This is 3.5 away. What about this one? 4 away. Double check the timing here. When do I actually hit this? I hit it 0.4 early. So 0.4 early. And how long does the buff last till? Oh, it's 10-second skips. Ugh. Whoop. That's very close. It basically lasted the whole thing. I could do it a little bit later. Yeah, I mean, I think we just move it back 0.5 seconds anyway. There's no need to do it that early. 200.5. Okay. And then that is basically everything. I mean, this explodes directly onto these ads right after they spawn. Boom. Does like 25% of their HP each. You got it. But yeah, not much else to do, right? Because you don't even have shifting power. And you wouldn't have gotten that back anyway. Would have been literally right now. All right, that's that. 4-minute kill time. Adjusted these by a tiny bit. This 1 second later left those the same. That should be fine. And this one the same, but moving this half a second earlier. All right, looks like everything will line up there. Okay. I am ready for raid tomorrow, and I am ready for raid testing on Wednesday. I will see you guys again tomorrow night, and then raid testing Wednesday. I'll be there the whole time.